I am your host, FatDag, and you're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at FatDag.com and follow along on Twitter and Instagram at Wise Advice. Send in your comments, your questions, and your celebrations, and I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Well, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Welcome to episode 52 of Wise Advice. And that's right, I believe in you. And I think that's important. I open the show every day with that, but I think at this point you're probably used to hearing it. But I want you to actually take a second to listen to it again. I believe in you. Now, when I first started this journey, I didn't even believe in myself. So I understand exactly where we get to the point where we don't believe in ourselves. And that's what's beautiful about this community is if you look across the community, you look across people who are killing it, getting it done. Just before I came in to record, I got a shout out on Facebook from Joe, down 140 pounds and reached lifetime today. 140 pounds. That's incredible. So here's what you need to know about that. At one point when he started the journey, I'm sure he didn't believe he could do it. But by watching others do it, he continued and just didn't give up and got it done. And that's what happened to me is I didn't believe I could do it at first, but I just kept going and kept going and kept going. And then suddenly I just kind of got there. So when I say I believe in you, what happened is at some point you believed in me before I believed in me. And that's what enabled me to keep going. So when I say I believe in you, what I need you to know and what I need you to hear is I believe you can do this. I know the program works. I know that you know how to work the program. And I believe that you can get it done. So the next time you hear me say that I believe in you, I want you to really pay attention to that because I truly do believe in you. I believe everyone has the ability to get this done. As long as you stay connected, as long as you stay focused, as long as you stay mindful to the process, you can get this done. So that's what I want to open the show with. Donna writes in, says, "Hi, Mike. I just wanted to share with you something that I had done last week. I did 2 virtual 5Ks. This week I was struggling. Life got in the way. I tried to do the best that I could. I was going to not go to my meeting because I knew I had a gain. It would have been the first one I've missed in over 15 months. Then yesterday in the mail came a thank you card and with a note on it. And how many times have I listened to your podcast saying these words?" And the picture didn't come through, Donna, on your email, but I kind of got the gist of what was going on is that something you've heard me say on this podcast over and over and over again kind of resonated with you through a thank you card. And I'm sure it ties into the I believe in you and that you can do it and you can be the best that you can do. And it got you there. And then your email goes on, continue to say, well, then yesterday these came in the mail. Yep. And you have to be honest, you cried. Why was I giving up on myself when the week got too hard? I know better. I went to my meeting, explained about the week I had and wanting to give up. Then I took the gain and I moved on with the rest of my day. I came home, listened to your interview podcast over and over. I hope you realize just how much you are helping all of us. We all have good and bad days. We all know what we need to do. Life gets in the way for all of us. My mom passed in 1999. Wednesday was her birthday, and for whatever reason, it hit hard. I let my emotions win. I'm back on track, had my pity party, and it's over. Thank you so much for being my wingman. Thank you so much for all you do and taking the time for us. It sure does keep me accountable. I have you in my head, lost sight of that for a bit this week, but I'm back. Thanks again. Love, Donna. Donna, well, hey, life happens, right? Absolutely, life happens. And so we have to start looking at our lives a little differently than we probably have in the past. When we try and work in a weight loss journey and we try to change our lifestyle, something we haven't done for a long period of time, it doesn't happen overnight. And it doesn't even happen over a year or two. So in many cases, we've been living this lifestyle that wasn't best for us for dozens of years and decades. So it's probably going to take dozens of years and decades before the lifestyle becomes a true lifestyle. Up until that point, it's managing a new lifestyle and trying to compete with the old lifestyle to see if we can get the new lifestyle to win. So you're right. Life will happen. Life will take over. And at some point, we need to start looking at things that are routine versus non-routine. So as you look at your new life and your new lifestyle, something that happens routinely. So, if every Friday, the office people will get together for pizza for lunch, well, that's a routine. And so at some point you need to learn how to handle that, and you need to adjust to that, and you need to, figure out how to work that into your plan. Now, it doesn't mean you have to overindulge. It doesn't mean you have to take part. If that happens every single Friday, it becomes a lot easier to skip. When you have a significant life-changing event, that's not part of your routine. It's absolutely out of your routine. So when you get out of your routine, it's okay to be off your game for a little bit until you establish what a new routine is and then readjust into that new routine. So you're doing just fine. Absolutely. We know that you're going to weigh the same whether you hop on the scale or not. So it's best to go into the scale and get a gain. And what I'm super proud of you, and I didn't know that you picked this up in your own email, but you said you went in, got your gain, and you moved on. You know how many people do not get a gain on the scale? And I'm not talking about the ones who had a loss on the scale. I'm talking about the ones that didn't dare show up. I'm talking about if you weigh the same whether you go in or not. If you don't go in to get a gain on the scale, then you're not in the game. You're not in the mindset to win. The only way you can get a gain on the scale is if you go in and check in. And if you check in, then you're accountable and you're mindful. It doesn't mean you had a great week. It means you want to have a great week, and that's where you're at. So, Donna, you're doing a fantastic job. Continue to work it. Continue to do exactly what you're doing. You will reach your goal. You have the ability to reach your goal. I believe you can get there. Go after it. You got it. Lauren out of New York writes in, says, "Hi, Mike. I thank you for answering my question in your podcast about the perfectionist attitude and the comparisons. You really help me out a lot, especially that my best will change daily. Thanks is not enough. My question is about exercise. Is it better to focus on getting my eating and tracking in control and then add exercise to my life? The reason the reason for this is I tend to give up and binge if I feel overwhelmed. In the past, I found myself setting the standard too high, falling short, and giving up. This time around, I feel motivated and willing to make it my lifestyle. I'm being realistic. I binge ate for 16 years and tried to exercise it off. It fails. Today, it's more important to have my portions in control now. Will I still get results if I wait to incorporate exercise? Then I'll have to do a little by little. Does this sound like a good plan? Another question is, how do you stay present? I catch myself focusing so much on the past or the future. I think it's most successful to focus on today. Your advice will be greatly appreciated. Can you help me? Thanks so much. Best, and sending you blessings of abundance, not in pounds, just in success, health, and happiness. Lauren from New York. Lauren, here we go. All right. The issue with exercise is that we think we're doing something significant. Now, I'm a huge fan of exercise. If you're not getting some sort of exercise, I would absolutely encourage you to do that. But at some point, here's where I'm going to go with this. And you got to listen to the whole segment before you beat me up on it, because I'm going to go a lot of different directions with this. When we start a weight loss plan, a big bulk of what we're trying to do is change our eating habits. The example that my doc gave me, and this is not medical advice, but it's what he gave me, is I went in and he said, "Hey, Mike, your weight's creeping up a little bit." And I looked at him and I said, "Yeah, doc, I know." I said, I'm going to the gym. I'm going to start working it off. And he looked at me and he goes, "Well, the average person needs roughly 2,000 calories a day just to kind of maintain their weight." I said, "Yeah, it's about right." And he said, "Well, and so, how many calories are you burning at the gym?" I said, "Well, I don't know." He goes, "Well, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm on the treadmill." He goes, "Well, you're probably burning 300-400 calories. I said, "Yeah, that's about right." He goes, "So you're eating 4,000 calories, burning off 300, and you only need 2,000, and you think you're making a difference." So here's what I want to say is we have to get the food under control. We have to get our intake down to a healthy level. Then the exercise has a benefit to it. Now, exercise plays a key component in our ability to free our mind and to release some stress and to be limber and to be agile. All that is important. But if you're exercising solely for the fact of losing weight and you're not mindful of what you're eating, you really have to put all of your focus on the eating side. And sometimes you have to focus so intently that you don't have time to exercise because you're so intensely focused on tracking, on being mindful, and using all of your available willpower to get your food under control. So I want you to balance both. I want you to incorporate fitness into what you're doing, but not at the point where it overshadows and you think you're doing something and it allows you to go overeat. So the plan absolutely works without exercise. You do not have to exercise to lose weight. You do need to exercise to be healthy. You do need to exercise to, like I said before, keep limber and keep your stress levels down. That's all good. Keep your blood flowing. It's all important for that. But you've got to stay on plan. You've got to stay, mindful to the game, mindful to the process. Now for me, to stay present, what do? I ask myself often, what would I rather have? I give it a comparison. Would I rather have this or that? Would I rather have a donut for breakfast or would I rather make goal? Would I rather have a donut for breakfast or would I rather have dinner? So I've gotten to the point where when it comes to mealtime, I do have the ability to pause before the meal and say, do I want this or not? Now, there are times, I'm honest with you, there are times when I say, right now I do want this more than staying at Lifetime. Or I do want this more than, more than something. I do want this so bad that I'm willing to eat it and then go, track extreme or track the next day and kind of balance the week out or dig into my weeklies if need be. But I get to ask myself that question every day and it keeps me in the moment. I believe it's very important to know about the future and very important to continue your eyes on the past, but not in focus. Your focus should be in the present. You need to know where you're headed. You need to know where you came from. Both of those are very important to your journey. But you've got to stay focused in the present. And by staying focused in the present is you simply know your why. I hope by this point you've written your why down. If you're having trouble staying in the present, then maybe you read your why a little more often. Maybe you start every day reading your why. Before you even got out of bed, put it on your phone, put it in your notepad in your phone. First thing you do when you wake up and you grab your phone is just go read your why. That'll put you in the mindset to continue the day and to continue winning. So thanks for your email. Let's get this done. I wish you continued good focus. Next up is Amy. Amy writes in from Connecticut and says, as I referenced in your podcast last night, I would like your opinion on how to handle what I call grab-and-go foods. I don't necessarily mean those types of foods with high point values like chips, cookies, and takeout, but also foods like fruits, lower smart point granola bars, and Weight Watcher mini bars. Those you can physically reach for quickly and eat. 3 years ago, even before Smart Points began, I incorporated more fruits into my day because of their health benefits. They are the better snack choice, easy to pre-track, and are easy to grab and go when I'm on the run. Then they became 0 Smart Points, which seemed to be a bonus. I have averaged 5 to 7 fruits a day since Smart Points began until a few weeks ago when I read a post on Connect about eating too many 0 Smart Point foods. It was an eye-opening post that made me realize I needed to make a change. I do track and measure, having done so especially well in the past year with your help and Connect, but I need to break through what I call a convenience hurdle. I've been at goal for over 4 years, yay, but I haven't reached my personal goal weight in the past 3 years. There's definitely a correlation here. Sounds obvious that less is more in this case. Oh, how I want to lose those 5 pounds again and keep them off. I know I can, and I would love to hear your approach in this. Since I read the Connect post mentioned above, I started to eat more vegetables in place of fruits and granola bars, and it seems to be working, at least in the short term, but it will take time to make sure. I still have a sweet tooth for Weight Watcher mini bar from time to time. Thank you for your podcast, which provide great insight for all of us, those beginning Weight Watchers and those who've been members for years. They are priceless. I hope the questions and comments we share with you prove benefit to you on your journey as well. Amy from Connecticut. Amy, absolutely. That's one of the things I really enjoy about this is every time I get an email, I got a stack of them still that I kind of go through. I read the ones that kind of resonate with me, and then, it does reframe my mind and gets me thinking about things that I'm doing as well. So I do absolutely appreciate that. Fruit, as you know, that Connect post, obviously I read it as well. I know exactly who posted it. Really good post. And I got a couple different scenarios on how I want to frame your answer here is. Fruits are not 0 calories, they're 0 smart points. So absolutely, as you eat a fruit, there is a caloric intake that you have to absorb. Now, the reason that we put 0 smart points on fruit is to encourage you to eat them. If come the end of the day, you have 3 points left in the apple, we're going to charge you 3 points for the apple, we're going to charge you 3 points for the cookie, you're not going to reach for the apple. You're going to reach for the cookie. So now in this scenario, if you have 3 points left, you can eat the cookie, but then you can still have the apple because you ran out of points. And when you're out of points, you stop eating points, but you can still have the apple. So 0 smart points does not mean 0 calories. It simply means 0 smart points. So like everything else in this plan is if you're tracking and you're honestly tracking, to include tracking in your fruit as 0 smart points, you can look back at the days after the end of the week and you get your results on your scale. You take that data point, you look back at the week ahead and you try and figure out what got you to that number. So if you look back and there's a lot of points that you guessed on, or if there's an extra high level of fruit that you didn't know, you didn't realize, all that factors in. So if you like the result on the scale, then you can repeat that week. If you don't like the results on the scale, then you got to look into that week and dig in and say, where can I shave? Where can I take some things out of here? And maybe it was the 5 apples. Maybe it was the 10 bananas this week. Maybe that's extreme. Now, I know for me, having too many apples and too many bananas was not the reason I joined Weight Watchers. So for me, in this stage in my journey, if I can reach for my 5th apple for the day and that's going to stop me from grabbing a bag of chips, then I'm okay with that, right? I still need to keep an eye on the scale, still need to keep an eye on what's going on, but I'm trying to break the addiction to sugar. Breaking that addiction to sugar can happen by eating it and replacing it with fruits and vegetables. But as long as I continue to eat chips and cookies and crackers, I never truly break that addiction. So, as long as the apple and the banana have a point value associated with it, I'm not going to reach for them. So I believe the smart points for me was absolutely tremendous. And that's why I had the success that I did, is because it really taught me how to eat differently. I eat a lot more fruit and vegetables than I ever did. I naturally gravitate towards extra fruits and vegetables, mostly fruits in my case, but I naturally gravitate to them, whereas before I never even saw them, never even looked at them. So it's everything we do in this journey is just data, right? It's just data. The number on the scale is just data. The number in your tracker is just data. The quantity of fruit is just data. You have to analyze this data and figure out if that's the result you want. When you get to where you want to be, and you'll find a rhythm. You will absolutely find a rhythm that'll keep you going. It may include an apple a day. It may include 2 apples a day, and that may be too many. But that's what you got to do. But absolutely substituting in more vegetables, that's going to be key as well. But track everything in your tracker. Go get a number on the scale. Determine how you want to work it. Move on from there. Thanks for your email, Amy. Thank you very much. Next up, April writes in, says, Dear formerly FatDag, I simply must recommit to my Weight Watcher plan. I'm a little over my goal weight. I weigh in on Tuesdays. I went off the rails this week, but I'm getting back to my better habits now. Sadly, my father passed away 1 week ago at age 95. He lived a great life. He had a dignified military burial. We gathered with family and friends. I traveled with my husband. The stress of the week got to me and did not stuff myself, but I didn't track, and my family seems to like indulgent things. My sister is a foodie, and she made sure there were sweets and treats relating to things she would give my dad. She is a bit of a food pusher. That is always a challenge. Then I finally got back to work today, and another food pusher brought in cupcakes and cookies and left over from the family party, left them in my department. I broke down and I had many cookies. My workouts are walking. Just a normal work day is over 10,000 steps, and my husband and I are avid swing dancers. We also like hustle, ballroom, rockabilly. Dag, I hope you're still dancing, and if so, how is that going? I want to add in video workouts. I have several great series, including the Weight Watcher DVDs, to choose from at home. I've been doing a research project at home, so my workout space has been overrun with boxes of materials I'm processing. The project is over at the end of June. Adding the habit of doing those workouts at home would be a plus for me. I do like strength training, but not sure I want to go to the gym at this time, so it's another home workout. I also have a bike, time to inflate those tires. I live in Brooklyn, New York City. I work near Times Square. I'm 61 years old. I've been a Weight Watcher member on and off since 1980s. I've been hovering around my goal weight since 2010, and I've been a member consistently since then. I hope to get my focus back, and yes, I need help. A lot of people don't understand that I don't really need or want those cupcakes. They're like a knife in the back. Tomorrow is a morning breakfast birthday party. We're all bringing stuff to eat. I think I'll bring in some fruit. I have to break this cycle and stay on my points plan. I'll appreciate your podcast so much, and thank you for your service, April on Connect. April, New York City. April, yeah, absolutely. First, a couple different things. Thank your dad for his service. I'm glad he had a full military, dignified military burial. Amazing hero and patriot. So thank him for that. Thank your entire family for your service and your sacrifice, and really, really, honored to be able to give a shout out to him at this point. So I understand your grief there. And as we talked about before on the show, grief is important. You have to take time to grieve. Grief is not something that you're used to dealing with daily. So your best today is going to be different than your best today that you're not grieving. It's okay to accept that and move on. At some point, your life will turn back into a new routine, and that's when you start making readjustment back into your new lifestyle. So thank you. Keep going in that direction. Now, as far as the dancing, yeah, we still go. We're now into about once a week we go, and we're having a blast. I tell you, it's one of those things that I didn't anticipate how much fun we're going to have dancing, but it really gives us an opportunity to go out as a couple and hang out together to a place that doesn't involve food. A lot of times our date night always included food. So now our date night is dancing, and we absolutely enjoy it. It's so much fun. Now, as far as you're, 61 years old, been on and off Weight Watchers since the 1980s, pull out a calculator, add up how much you're paying for this thing, and let's talk. You're so close to goal, right? You are absolutely so close to goal. I want you to focus. I want you to go get it done. I want you to hit lifetime. I want you to quit paying for this. You've maintained your weight this entire time. You have the ability to hit maintenance and stay there. You just need to take one step further, get to your goal weight, and then work the plan again into your maintenance mode. You have the ability to do it. When it comes to food pushers, they get to us because we're still addicted to what they're bringing, and they still see our old habits creeping in. So the more you resist, the easier it becomes, and the more the food pushers start to back off. So a food pusher isn't going to back off if you continue to give in to them. So if someone comes to your office every morning with a cupcake and once a week you take it, they're going to come to you once a week. If they come to you once a week for a cupcake and 52 weeks in a row you say no, at some point they're going to quit bringing cupcakes in, right? So you have to look at them and you have to figure out what's going on. And so a food pusher in your life continues to be a food pusher because they know they can get results. They think they're being helpful, but they also know at some point that even you think you need it because you take it from them. So I want you to resist. I want you to dig deep in this, and I want you to say no. Now, if you want it, that's a different scenario. I would probably, in this scenario, now, when we're talking specifically to a food pusher, is I would decline it. And then if I really wanted it, at some point I'd find a way to get it some other way without the food pusher knowing that I had it. But, cause I just don't want them to build, you're building a habit with them as well. As you build that habit of they bring it in and you continue to eat it, that's just a cycle that needs to be broken. So the more you resist, the easier it becomes to win. So at some point you will break the addiction to sugar. You will break the addiction to the habit. You will form a whole new lifestyle. And that's how you get there. That's how you reach your goal. That's how you step on the scale for the very last time in a weight loss mode. You've been so close. You have the ability to get there. I believe you can get there. I know you can get there. I want to see you get there, so let's go after it. So, what is it that you're celebrating? Let's talk about it on the air. What are your struggles? What are your challenges? One of the beautiful things about this show is that we all have something we can relate to. So I want to hear, let's share about it. Let's go to FatDag.com. Click on Listen Now, send in your celebrations and your comments. I'll work them all into the show. I want you to email in because I really want you to be proud of what you're doing. You're doing amazing work. You can follow along on Twitter and Instagram at Wise Advice, but that's going to do it for this time. Remember, losing weight, getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus.